Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I am your host and guide, Zullen Ironshield. Alright you guys, on this video today, a LOTRO guide, we are going to talk about how to pick your class. Basic things. I want to do this quickly, make a nice little video, and here's my goal. We're going to make an overview video right now of picking your class. And then I'm going to make individual videos that'll be somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes for each class that you can watch after in the same playlist, a LOTRO guide. So we will begin now. And for first thing, when you make your account, right, and I have a video on making your account, starting your account, so you can check that out in the same playlist. Again, I am your host and guide, Zullen Ironshield, and normally you will have a certain amount of character slots that you can use. Right now, as you can see, I have many slots. When you become a free-to-play, I'm pretty sure you can make around 7 characters in free-to-play. You may be able to have more as VIP status when you pay for the monthly subscription, which is in the other video, I explained that. But I have a lot more because I bought more slots, and you can earn sometimes when you buy expansions. So anyway, I'm going to show you real quick. If you want to unlock a slot, you can do this, or you go to the LOTRO store. I'm going to make another slot. If you pay for VIP, you get 500 LOTRO store points a month with your normal VIP. So a lot of times, again, I have a 3-month subscription, and then I will get 1,500 points over those 3 months, and I use them for things that I like to use them for. I may make a video later on the best things to buy. I have a little bit of info on that in the LOTRO starting video. So there we go, we have another slot. So we want to talk about class setup. How do you want to pick your class, right, in Lord of the Rings Online? I want to make this where there's some details for you guys, but at the same time that this is not ridiculously complex, right? That is the biggest thing I want to work on. So you click your new character, right? This is what you would if you had no characters. You click a new character. So quick overview, and then I'm going to make videos that you can follow in this playlist that will be every single class. So quick overview, like in the character, starting your character video, you have different races, right? But we're going to be focusing on classes. Again, you can be a man, dwarf, elf, and hobbit. And you can also be a high elf, which is a new race of sorts. I put that in quotations. But, you know, the same as elves, but they have a little bit different traits, so on and so forth. And then there are also stout axes, which are kind of like a new race of dwarves, kind of. They're still dwarves, but... And then you can be a Bjorn. So this is definitely like a different race, right? Because this is obviously a different race in the lore, right? They aren't really human from what Tolkien tells us. Alright, so moving on to classes. Now, there are free-to-play classes. This is important to know, right? So there's the free-to-play ones, which are Burglar, Captain, Champion, Guardian, Hunter, Lore Master, Minstrel. These are the classes that you can play for free if you're free-to-play. If you are VIP, I believe you have access to all classes. If not, you can buy the Warden, Rune Keeper class and Bjorn class separately. But you also get the Rune Keeper and Warden class, I believe, if you get the Mines of Moria expansion, if you buy the expansion. Nowadays, they merge the expansions, so again, you can buy like a whole expansion if you want to do that. But here's what we are going to move on with now, too. And I want to do one thing for our video here. I'm going to just ever so slightly turn down the music, because it's just a tad bit too loud for my liking. There we go. Wait, I got the wrong one, I think. There we go. That's much better. I want you guys to be able to hear my explanations. Okay, so basically, man playing a human. Humans can pretty much play every class. They cannot be Rune Keepers. You'll notice if they're grayed out, right? If you can't play them, it'll have a coin, like you have to purchase it if you're free to play. It'll show you that. But basically, humans can be pretty much everything. They can be burglars. Alright, burglars are an assassin-type stealth. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on every class in this video. This is just an overview, because I'm going to do individual little quick videos for each class, right? Alright, so burglars, they are an assassin type of play, right? Melee style playing. It's very fun. Stealth, you know, attacking from the back. Crowd control, which means you stun your enemies, that sort of thing. Captains. Captains are a buffing class. Lead your team. Hero class. They have a little soldier that follows them around, gives buffs and helps an NPC or a non-player character, right? Alright. Champions, a melee swordsman, basically, right? Usually dual wield, you can do two-handed. They are melee, they beat things up, they do lots and lots of damage, so on and so forth. Guardians, they are a tank. These are a tank class. They're very tanky. They can also do two-handed melee DPS combat, but they are very good tanks and heavy tanks. They use heavy armor. There's 3 kinds of armor in the game, you guys. There's light, medium, and heavy. That's how we categorize armor in Lord of the Rings Online. Burglars use medium armor, captains use heavy armor, champions use heavy armor, guardians use heavy armor, hunters I believe can use medium armor. Hunters are also a melee class, or no, sorry, they're not melee. They physical damage because they use a bow and arrow, but they so there's a couple kinds of damage, right, guys? There's melee physical, which is up close. There's range physical, which is bows, and then there's magic, right? Which would be spells or voice abilities or things like that, right? So the hunter is a ranged DPS class. You can there's different trading trees. We will talk about that in a second. For every class. Lore Masters. This is a magic class. They are focused on spell casting, crowd control, which means and debuffing your enemies and buffing your allies. And they also have your pets. And like many games, a lot of times they'll have hunters. The pets will have. I'm sorry. The hunters will have pets, not the other way around. But Lore Masters in Lord of the Rings Online are the pet wielders. Kind of like, think Radagast the Brown, right? Even though he's not a Lore Master, he's a wizard. But Lore Masters are kind of based off wizards, right? Where burglars are based off, you know, Bilbo Baggins kind of thing. Captains are based off maybe like Boromir or Aragorn from the movies. Champions are based off maybe Gimli or Glorfindel, right? Like people like that. Guardians are based off like tanky characters like maybe Thorin or Sam, Gamgee, protecting your allies, right? Legolas is obviously the key player of what the hunters played off, right, from the movies. Lore Masters are kind of like, well, like, you know, maybe a mix of like Elrond's lore and a wizard, right? But they're more of a lower level. They're not an actual Istari wizard, right? They're a human or a dwarf or an elf, that kind of thing. Minstrels. Minstrels are a very unique thing. They're based off the music of the Lord of the Rings, right? In our main playlist, LOTRO Tale, you guys should check that out. It's our other playlist on this channel where I do voiceovers and we go through the stories. But these are our guide channels, so if you're here, please keep enjoying. Minstrels are healers of Lord of the Rings Online. They heal, heal, heal. They can also damage, and they are magic class. So their damage are voice abilities, usually the type of light damage, usually ranged. It's all magical abilities, right? So they do magic damage, and they are very good with with that kind of light damage, and they're great healers. So they're really a support class, right? There's a few different things we categorize. So I talked about the 3 kinds of armor. There's also 4 kinds, I think LOTRO divides it as 4 kinds of things. There are tanks, DPS, which is damage per second characters, just lots of damage, and support characters, which buff your allies or stuff, and healers, right? Flat healers. Minstrels would be defined as a healer class, probably healer/support. That would be kind of their thing. They could also DPS, right? But their main goal is healing, right? Burglars' main goal is supporting, which with CC, crowd control, stunning enemies or enemy heroes, and doing damage. Captains are a support/tank role, probably. They can also deal damage, definitely. There's definitely crossovers between those 4. Champions can either be a tank or a DPS, flat out. Guardians, they lean way towards more tankiness, but they can also be a DPS. Hunters can be a type of support occasionally, but really their main thing is damage. They are the damage dealers of physical damage, right? They could blow things up from far away. Range damage, physical. Lore Masters, these guys have a wide variety. They have a little bit of supporting where they have a little bit of healing, but they really focus on having their animal pets to help the battle, magic damage, debuffing the enemy, which means making your enemy be weaker in battle, right? That kind of thing, and doing high magic damage. Minstrels, we talked about that healing. Rune Keepers, I might have to go to a different race because they cannot be it, but dwarves can be Rune Keepers. Rune Keepers focus on 2 different things. They're either high damage or they're high healing. Inside a Rune Keeper, we'll go into more details, but they actually have different kinds of damage. They have a fire line of damage, they have a lightning line of damage, and an ice line of damage. So like different elements, right? And then they have their healing line, which they have to pick between healing and damage in a battle most of the time how you spec, and we'll talk about that too. And then dwarves cannot be wardens, so we're gonna hop over to an elf. Wardens. Wardens are they use, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys about armor. We stopped here. Medium armor for elves, right? Lore masters, light armor. Minstrels use light armor. These are mages. Rune Keepers are also light armor, and Wardens will use medium armor. I do not think they can use heavy armor. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure on that. They are like a dodging kind of tank. They have high AoE. They're very good at dodging and buffing themselves, so they're definitely a tank / damage dealer. AoE, which means area of effect, lots of targets, and they also bleed things, right? So that's what you want when you're doing with a Warden. My words. So they're very good for tanking, and they're very fun to play, and they have lots of roaring, and they do a lot of light. They do some light damage, magic damage with their roars, but they're mainly physical damage with their spears and javelins is what they use for weaponry. Let's jump over to Bjorns real quick. Bjorns they can tank, they can damage, and they also can heal. It depends on how you spec them, and they're very fun to play. And when they turn in their bear form, they do lots of AoE damage, area effect, and lots of damage, and they're very big, and they have heals, and they're very good. They can also be like a little bit of supporty class, but they're mainly damage and tank is their thing. Wardens, mainly tank damage. Rune Keepers, they can be heal and damage, a little bit of debuff, and then so on for the different things, right? And again, you can see this all below each one, you guys. Like, if you want to do this more yourself, you know what I mean? I'm almost done with this video, and we're going to move on. You can check out my next videos with every class. I want to make these real quick and simple because I don't want them to be overwhelmingly long. So anyway, down here, right, it says class difficulty, how hard they are to use kind of thing. So again, these are more just basic. These are pretty good terminology. Yeah, so these are like, what they're used for in game. These are very good explanations of the class difficulties, I would say. Again, look, you can see Burglars, their role is support. Again, I would add damage to that. Bjorn's role is damage support, which means they have a little bit of healing. They can't super heal a group, but they're decent at it. Burglar, and then let's see, we got to go back to captains here. They're support mainly, but they can do damage and heal too. But that's why they're a support. They kind of just do an all of everything and lead their team. Damage role. Defense role, which is tank. Defense means tank, right? For that one. I'm going through these, right? Champion, Guardian, Hunter, damage role, Lore Master, support role. See, they kind of healer, that kind of thing. These are real simplistic. I would break these down even more, but they don't want to confuse people when they're making a character. So that's why I'm here, to give you a little bit more details. Damage healer, Rune Keeper, they can do either way, and defensive, right? Tank style. So now you kind of know the overlay of the classes. This is very important. I want to, I'm going to hop into, we're going to cancel character creation. We're going to go into our main character. Here's Zolin. Again, if you want to check out my other playlists, guys, our main character is Voice of the Rings, right, for this channel. And we're already level 38. We're moving on through the story. Anyway, let's log into Zolin though here. I want to show you the trait trees real quick. So give me 1 second. Okay, now we're in on Zolin here. Basically, in every video, and all my class videos I'm going to make right now, we're going to go through every single class. I'm going to go down that list. You remember when you're creating characters, starts with Bjorn at the top. I'll go down that list in order, from top to bottom, okay? When I'm making my videos, so you can see them in the list behind this in the playlist, so it'll be easy for you to find quickly. Again, I want these to be very quick. I want you to have good info to use from my channel, but at the same time, I don't want it to be like you're a new person to MMOs and you're like, I'm totally lost. I don't understand what he's talking about, right? So I'm trying to use very layman terms, but at the same time, I'm trying to use terms that are very essential in this game for many people who've been playing it for as long as I have, for 15 years, right? Since the game's been out, or have played MMOs for a long time. If you came from another MMO, whether it be, you know, there's so many others, right? World of Warcraft, all that. That's a big famous one, right? Most people know what that is, even if you didn't play it. If you're a gamer, you should know what that is. But Lord of the Rings Online, still my top favorite MMO. I may be a little bit biased, obviously. I've been playing it a lot. But I have played all the other ones, too. So they're all fun. They're all good MMOs. But again, we focus on Lord of the Rings Online. So every single class one, I'm going to go over this chart here, the trait tree panel. I have a video on the trait tree panel on this playlist, a LOTRO guide, right? So you could check that out, too. If you want to go and check that out, it's on this playlist. I said that twice already. But anyway, there's three main things. There's the blue line, the red line, and the yellow line in every tree. You will spec into one, and you can go check out my video on this because I don't want to go too far into this. I don't want to make this video this long. You can spec into the one tree, and then when you can use excess points you earn over time by doing deeds, leveling up, and these other quests you can do to get more points. Spec into another tree, but it costs 2 points for every click instead of just 1 once you're going to another tree. So you can really fill one up that you like, and then choose one of them to use some points and that you have left over, right? So again, every class I'm going to do this video about, I'll talk about their armor, their play style, all that kind of stuff, so you guys can understand that. So check out the next videos. I hope this basic start of choosing a character will help you guys out. And I know this was very basic, but please check out the next videos. I'm going to have details on every class. I'm going to try to keep them under 10 minutes each, so you can just pick through the classes, right? Boom, 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 watch them all. So, I'm your host and guide, Zolin Ironshield. I hope this little video will help you guys out, and I will see you in the next helpful video on a LOTRO guide playlist on the Voice of the Rings channel, and I'm your host and guide, Zolin Ironshield. See you in the next video, guys.